Verne Garde wants to make community policing one of the three main pillars of the tripod of his fight against crime.
We've embarked on what we call a neighborhood policing strategy, which is that of a tripod containing a intelligence-led, problem-solving, and community policing approach.
Given the history of community policing in St. Lucia, it sounds like an empty promise meant only to soften the public image of a police force mired in controversies from nearly 15 years ago. And the top cop knows it.
The community policing is one of the areas that have been underutilized in the Royal St. Lucia Police Force over the years. We've always had a bit of lip service in that regard, but we have not put in the resources towards community policing. And that is why I thought it necessary that one of the first legs of the neighborhood policing strategy that we would employ would be the community policing module.
Last week Friday, the Choice News team caught the police commissioner on a solo mission to do community policing in a neighborhood that many Lucians have been taught to fear to walk alone.
I think it's very important that there's a clear line of communication from the Office of Commissioner of Police to that of the public, and of course through the press.
From young men hanging out on the block to old men who can barely go outside, the commissioner was well known in the infamous community of Conway, and his repeated refrain to everyone was, "Hold it down," which is another way of saying keep the peace. It is the polar opposite of the tough-on-crime approach the commissioner has employed in the raids meant to seize illegal firearms.
Since I've taken over as Commissioner of Police, I've ensured that a robust patrol and also a robust process of managing intelligence have been utilized to deal with some of the issues concerning firearms. We have intercepted approximately 60 firearms for this year, including 4 for this month. We've also intercepted 1,139 rounds of ammunition for this year, which in my view is a significant amount of ammunition being taken off the road.
As the Choice News team followed him on his Friday morning tour of the ghetto, Commissioner Garde happened on a group of young men rolling a joint. They were surprised, but he assured them they didn't need to be worried. All they needed to do for him was keep the 3-word promise, hold it down. Why does Garde expose himself like this when the media has taught Lucians to have a deep-seated fear of communities like the ones that garrison Castries?
From my perspective, the amount of support that I see on a daily basis, given from the community to the police, I am starting to think that the gap is certainly getting smaller.
In Conway, a positive verdict is emerging about Garde, who is himself a Barnard Hill boy.
They just stay behind the desk and expect results on the ground. You have to be on the ground. You see what's up, you hear what's going on, vibe with the youths on them. Yeah? You understand? But it's looking good for now, man.
At last week's press conference, Commissioner Garde announced the merger of the Police Press Office, the Community Relations Branch, and the Bicycle Unit into the National Community Policing Unit.
We also launched what we call the Community Policing Unit sometime this month, which Ms. Algodell is responsible for, Inspector Algodell.
Over his first month as Commissioner, Verne Garde's police force has carried out aggressive raids specifically targeted at intercepting illegal firearms. However, walking through the so-called ghetto by himself with no backup, he hopes to win over a public who lives closer to the criminals than to the police. Garde, it seems, does not feel like he has to choose between being a tough cop and a caring cop. Two things, apparently, can be true at the same time. But if Garde is both a tough cop and a caring cop, then it's up to the public to decide which side of the new police commissioner they would rather deal with. The choice is clear. Either hold it down, or Garde will ramp it up. Garde may be willing to extend a hand of trust and friendship, but as the deadly police shooting during a car chase from Kako to Bagatelle shows, he will not hesitate to let his men shoot back when they are fired upon. For Choice News Now, I'm Jason Seaflay.